everyone, and welcome back to the Wisdom by Harry YouTube channel. My name is Harry.
And I'm Mary. We're so excited to have you here today for another fascinating episode.
Today we're diving into a story that has the US tech world on edge and investors clutching their wallets. It's about a Chinese AI company called DeepSeek. They're claiming to have cracked the code with this new AI model, R1, and it can go toe-to-toe with ChatGPT, but at a cost that seems almost unbelievable. Think millions instead of billions. The kind of price tag that could rewrite the rules of the AI game. We've got a stack of articles and analysis here, and they paint a pretty wild picture of what this could mean for the future of AI, the global tech scene, and maybe even your own portfolio. So buckle up, because this deep dive is going to get interesting.
What's really captured everyone's attention is DeepSeek's assertion that they developed this R1 using a mere $5.6 million in computing power. That's a David versus Goliath situation when you consider that US companies have been investing hundreds of millions, even billions, to achieve similar results.
Yeah, it's like DeepSeek found a shortcut through the AI maze, while everyone else was stuck in rush hour traffic. And the market didn't waste any time reacting.
Oh, absolutely not. The NASDAQ took a 3.1% tumble, which is a pretty clear sign that investors are spooked.
NVIDIA, the big name in AI chips. They got hit the hardest, though.
Yeah, they saw a record-breaking single-day loss of nearly $600 billion in market value.
Wow, to put that into perspective, that's more than the entire market cap of most companies on the planet. It's like NVIDIA blinked, and suddenly a small country's GDP vanished.
Poof, gone. The shockwaves also rippled through other tech giants like Meta and Alphabet, sending their stock prices downwards as well. Even energy and data center companies felt the tremors. Because if DeepSeek's claims about energy efficiency hold true, that means a lot less demand for their services.
Yeah, it's amazing how this one announcement from a relatively unknown Chinese company has the potential to shake up the entire global tech ecosystem, isn't it? But the big question everyone's asking is, how did DeepSeek pull this off?
Especially considering the US has been making a concerted effort to limit China's access to the most advanced AI chips. It's like they built a rocket ship using spare parts from the junkyard.
And that's what has people like David Sachs, the White House's point person on AI, speculating that DeepSeek might be using a technique called knowledge distillation.
Essentially, it's like taking the Cliff's Notes version of all the cutting-edge AI research and development happening in the US, and then building on that foundation.
It's a clever strategy if they can actually pull it off, but it also raises some big questions about intellectual property and how to safeguard it in this rapidly evolving field. Howard Lutnick, who's been nominated for Commerce Secretary, is among those calling for tighter export controls to protect US AI companies. He's worried that this could be the tip of the iceberg and that we need to be more careful about what kind of technology is making its way to China.
Even former President Trump has weighed in, calling DeepSeek a wake-up call for the US tech industry. It seems like this development has really hit a nerve and could be a turning point in how the US approaches competition in the AI space.
But it's not just about the tech race. There are some serious security concerns surrounding DeepSeek as well.
The US Navy, for instance, has reportedly banned its personnel from using DeepSeek's apps. They're citing potential security and ethical concerns, which suggests they're worried about data security and the potential for espionage.
And it's not just the Navy data security experts are sounding the alarm bells too.
Yeah, they're concerned about DeepSeek collecting vast amounts of personal data from users and storing it on servers in China, where data privacy laws are very different from those in the US.
It's a valid concern.
Yeah.
Especially considering the increasing use of AI for surveillance and data analysis in some parts of the world. DeepSeek, for their part, claims they're the ones under attack, alleging that they've been facing constant cyber attacks because of their groundbreaking work. They even had to temporarily halt new user registrations due to these attacks.
It seems like everyone's playing a game of cybersecurity chess, trying to anticipate the next move and protect their interests.
So we've got this Chinese AI company that seemingly came out of nowhere, claiming to have developed this powerful AI model at a fraction of the cost, shaking up the US tech industry, raising security concerns, and sparking a debate about intellectual property and the future of AI development. It's like a real-life techno-thriller playing out before our eyes. And the question now is, where do we go from here? In part 2 of this deep dive, we'll explore the potential impact of DeepSeek's achievement on the global AI landscape, the ethical considerations surrounding AI development, and what this all means for the future of innovation in technology. Stay tuned, because this story is just getting started.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of AI and this unexpected shakeup brought about by DeepSeek. Before we move on, let's take a step back and consider the bigger picture for a moment. DeepSeek's claim to have developed a ChatGPT rival for just a fraction of the cost. It really raises a fundamental question. Is this a sign that the traditional barriers to entry in the AI field are starting to crumble?
That's a really fascinating point. For years, it's felt like AI development has been this exclusive club, reserved for companies with really deep pockets and access to the latest and greatest hardware. But if DeepSeek can achieve these kinds of results with limited resources, does that mean we're entering a new era of AI? One where innovation can come from anywhere?
It's certainly a possibility, and one that has a lot of people excited and apprehensive.
Yeah. On the one hand, the prospect of a more democratized AI landscape is incredibly exciting. Imagine a world where startups and smaller companies can compete on a level playing field with the tech giants, driving innovation and bringing new ideas to the forefront. It's like the Wild West of AI, where anyone with a good idea and a bit of ingenuity can stake their claim. But you mentioned apprehension. What are some of the concerns that people have about this potential shift?
Well, one of the biggest concerns is the potential for misuse of AI technology. As AI tools become more accessible, it's also easier for them to fall into the wrong hands.
That makes sense. We've already seen examples of AI being used for things like creating deep fakes and spreading misinformation. If those capabilities become more widespread, it could have serious consequences for society.
Exactly. It's like giving everyone a powerful tool without a proper instruction manual or safety guidelines. And the consequences of misuse could be significant, impacting everything from elections and public trust to personal privacy and security.
So it seems like we need to strike a balance. We want to encourage innovation and make AI accessible to more people, but we also need to be mindful of the potential risks and develop safeguards to mitigate those risks.
Absolutely. It's a complex challenge, and one that will require collaboration between governments, industry leaders, researchers, and ethicists. We need to have these open and honest conversations about potential benefits and risks of AI, and develop frameworks that promote responsible development and use.
Speaking of risks, another major concern that often comes up in discussions about AI is the impact on jobs. If AI can automate more tasks, does that mean widespread unemployment is on the horizon?
It's a valid concern, and one that we need to take seriously. AI is already automating certain tasks, and as it becomes more sophisticated, it's likely that more jobs will be impacted.
But it's important to remember that AI is also creating new jobs and opportunities. We need to be proactive in preparing for these changes by investing in education and retraining programs that equip people with the skills they need to thrive in an AI-driven economy.
That's a key point. It's not about trying to stop progress. It's about adapting to it and ensuring that everyone benefits from the advancements in AI.
And that brings us to the global aspect of this whole situation. DeepSeek's emergence as a major player in AI has really put a spotlight on the competition between the US and China in this field. How do you see this competition playing out in the coming years?
It's definitely going to be a fascinating dynamic to watch. The US has long been seen as the leader in AI, but China is rapidly closing the gap.
They're investing heavily in AI research and development, and they have a huge pool of talent to draw from.
It's likely that this competition will drive even more innovation and advancements in AI, as both countries strive to maintain their edge.
It's almost like an arms race. But instead of weapons, it's algorithms and processing power.
But it's not just a two-horse race. The European Union, Canada, and other countries are also making significant investments in AI.
So it's becoming a truly global competition, with implications for economic power, national security, and technological dominance.
And amidst all this, it's important to remember that AI is ultimately a tool that can be used for good or for bad. And the choices we make today will determine how AI shapes our future.
It's a lot to consider, and it can feel a bit overwhelming at times.
It is, but it's also incredibly exciting. We're living through a technological revolution unlike anything we've ever seen before.
And who knows what amazing breakthroughs and innovations lie ahead. Well, before we get ahead of ourselves, let's recap what we've discussed so far. DeepSeek's unexpected success has challenged our assumptions about the AI landscape, and it's sparked this global conversation about the future of this powerful technology. We've explored the potential for a more democratized AI ecosystem, the need for safeguards to prevent misuse, the impact on jobs, and the intensifying competition between nations.
We've also touched upon the ethical considerations that are essential to navigate as AI becomes increasingly integrated into our lives.
Now, in the final part of our deep dive, we'll shift our focus to the individual. We'll explore what you as a listener can do to prepare for the AI-driven future and how to engage in this crucial conversation about the role of AI in society.
Welcome back to the deep dive. We've had the last two segments exploring the shockwaves DeepSeek sent through the tech world and pondering the wider implications for the AI landscape. But now let's bring it home and talk about what this all means for you.
Because it's easy to get caught up in the headlines, the big picture discussions. But at the end of the day, AI is going to impact all of our lives in very real ways. So what can we as individuals do to navigate this AI-driven future?
That's the million-dollar question, and there's no one-size-fits-all answer. But I think one of the most important things we can do is to become more informed about AI. Don't just let the headlines and the hype dictate your understanding. Take the time to learn about how AI works, its potential benefits, and its limitations.
There are tons of great resources available, online books, podcasts, even online courses that can help you demystify AI. It's like learning a new language. The more you understand the vocabulary and the grammar, the better equipped you'll be to understand the conversations and the nuances.
And the more you understand about AI, the better prepared you'll be to make informed decisions about how you interact with it both in your personal life and in your career.
Speaking of careers, one of the biggest concerns people have about AI is the potential for job displacement. So what advice would you give to someone who's worried about AI taking their job?
It's understandable to feel anxious about that, especially with all the talk about automation and robots taking over. But I think the key is to focus on adaptability and lifelong learning. The job market is constantly evolving, and AI is just one of many factors driving that change.
Instead of trying to cling to jobs that might become obsolete, think about the skills that will be valuable in an AI-driven world.
Things like critical thinking, problem solving, creativity, emotional intelligence, these are skills that AI is not very good at replicating.
Focus on developing those skills, and you'll be in a much better position to adapt to whatever changes the future holds. It's like that saying, the only constant is change.
Exactly. Embrace the change, embrace the learning process, and see it as an opportunity for growth.
And it's not just about acquiring new skills, it's also about being aware of the ethical implications of AI as AI becomes more pervasive. It's important that we as citizens engage in conversations about how AI should be used and what safeguards are needed to prevent misuse.
That's right. AI is not some neutral technology that exists in a vacuum. It's shaped by the values and the biases of the people who create it, and it has the potential to impact society in profound ways.
So we need to be having conversations about things like data privacy, algorithmic bias, and the potential for AI to be used for surveillance or even for warfare.
These are not easy conversations, but they're essential if we want to ensure that AI is used for good and that its benefits are shared by all.
And how can individuals get involved in those conversations?
There are many ways to get involved. You can join online forums and communities dedicated to discussing AI ethics. You can attend conferences and events where these issues are being debated. You can even reach out to your elected officials and let them know that you care about these issues.
It's about using your voice, staying informed, and engaging with the people and the institutions that are shaping the future of AI.
Remember, AI is not something that's happening to us. It's something that we're all creating together, whether we realize it or not.
So let's be mindful creators, let's be informed citizens, and let's work together to ensure that AI is a force for good in the world.
Well said, and on that note, I think it's time to wrap up this deep dive.
I hope you found this exploration of DeepSeek and the future of AI insightful and engaging. We've covered a lot of ground, from the market's reaction to DeepSeek's breakthrough to the broader implications for the global AI landscape and the ethical considerations we all need to be thinking about.
And we've emphasized the importance of individual empowerment and engagement in shaping the AI-driven future.
So as you continue to learn about AI and interact with this rapidly evolving technology, remember to stay curious, stay informed, and stay engaged. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.